Good morning and welcome back to another video, and today is a road to gold cap, I think. I've been playing with the idea. So last week we started off by doing Strathholme and all that jazz along with the Ajara's Vale farm. Those things have been doing okay on the auction house, but obviously we don't have an awful lot of things to sell. So this week we have looted 14,942 gold. Now I wasn't expecting an awfully big amount for this week due to the fact we've just started, so bear that in mind. If you're starting from scratch, don't expect like a miracle overnight unless you're exceedingly lucky. But that being the case, let's get into the farms. Okay, so for the farms for this week, I did the titanium ore farm, and this one is in Wintergrasp. And Wintergrasp is located in Northrend, well, near on the centre of Northrend, and it's near Dalaran, so it's not really hard to actually get to. Now, this is a PvP contested zone, so you will be flagged for PvP, but hopefully, because it's BFA, you have war mode on. So I would recommend that you just make sure, if you're in an overpopulated server, that you just be a little bit mindful that you may get attacked. So if you're a PvPer, just make sure you have your PvP gear on. That being the case, I would recommend a druid for this because it does work rather well in the case of what I intend to do with this farm. Now, obviously the farm is on the screen and you can find it on the website as well, and we can then go on to going around in that little circle. Now, obviously you are roughly going to get around about 30,000 gold worth on average every hour in the titanium and saronite ore that you pick up, along with the Eternals that you get and some of the gems. They still sell those gems. I know some people will probably say, oh, those gems don't sell, but they do actually sell if you sell them in bulk. So that's why we spent 3 hours farming this. So all in total, we have managed to farm up around about 96,870 gold's worth of looted item value items. So the base for the farm is follow the route, go around there for an hour and farm it and get about 30,000 gold's worth of stuff. Now, there is one little thing. They do cut off the flying in this zone when the timer for the battles actually happen. Now, this is what my little trick is with a druid. If you actually, before you're dismounted, because you'll get a little debuff that says, oh, you're going to be dismounted in 10 seconds, please get off your mount. If you actually press your transform button for flight or travel form and then quickly press it again, make sure you're quite high up when you're actually doing this while going along doing the farm, just press it again, go back into your flight form, it will reset the debuff, and then whenever it comes up you'll be able to just keep flying around the zone without being dismounted or stopped from using your mount. This, however, does not really work when it comes to other different classes with mounts, so I would recommend that you try and plan the farming accordingly to the 1 hour timer that you get while doing the Wintergrasp farm for titanium ore. Now, I would go on to say is you can use a ground mount for this, and the nodes do respawn in enough time for you to actually be able to do it on a ground mount, but it's a lot easier using a flying mount for obvious reasons. You can get around there a lot faster. Now, all in all, the Wintergrasp titanium ore farm is one of my favourites. In 3 hours we managed to gain around about 180 titanium ore. I'm chuffed to bits with that, so yeah, it's just one of those ones where it's one of my bread and butter farms that I do because I know it will always sell, because titanium ore, saronite ore and the Eternals are always needed for loads of profession type things. So I would recommend doing this if you are doing the farm along with the gold cap. Now let's get into the Transmog. We farmed for 4 hours this week RFD, or Razor Fen Downs. This is located in the Southern Barrens, like right to the bottom of the Southern Barrens, like literally before you go over to the Thousand Needles. There's like a load of vines And basically what you want to do, if you're going down from the Southern Barrens, you want to turn left and go into Razorfen Downs. If you turn right, you go into Razorfen Crawl. But we focused on Razorfen Downs. Now, the farm is relatively simple. There are chests in this dungeon that are locked and or unlocked, so you can open them if you just quickly put your cursor over. You can see if you can actually unlock them. If you play a rogue and run it with a rogue with a speed set or using his sprint and all that jazz, you can open all of the chests while you're in this dungeon. So that's really handy because it has a chance of dropping like things like the star belt and all that stuff, like the star belt pattern and all that. So it's really handy when you're trying to make a decent amount of gold. Now, on average, you're roughly going to be making around about 35 to 40,000 gold looted item value in transmog and or materials. And this week, after 4 hours, we kind of got under that amount because I had to delete a load of stuff because some of it, the sell rate was so bad. But after going through all of the little bits that it said was like 160 odd thousand and getting rid of the rest of it, I came to a grand total of around about 106,471 gold's worth of looted item value items. Now, these will be sold on the auction house to go with my Strathholm transmog, and we'll be building upon this transmog really easily. Now, the farming route is on the screen right now, and you can also find that under the transmog section in the TUP website, or the Underrated Pixel. All of the routes and farms that I'm doing or have done or however, I will be updating as we go on and do these farms as well, so frame of reference. So if you want to reference something, if you've got like a dual screen or something along those lines, you can have the map up on one section and your game on the other, so it's easier for you to farm. But Razorfen Downs is really easy to understand once you run it a couple of times. It doesn't take rocket science to work out what you need to do. Just clear it as you would clear just a standard dungeon. Like if you're going through like LFD, it's easy as pie, especially as a max level, so because it's like a 40 odd level dungeon, so easy for you to understand. But that being the case, this week has been absolutely amazing and I've really enjoyed this week. So 4 hours of transmog farming and 3 hours of material farming. The long-term investment is the transmog, obviously, and the short-term or mid-range, depending on what materials we farm, is the faster of the two that we're actually gaining for regular steady gold, as opposed to the transmog, which we're going to build up to build into a high level like steady gold. Obviously transmog takes a long time to sell, so we're doing the material farms as well to supplement everything else along with that. So we're getting the best of both worlds when we're actually building up our income. So the farmed looted item value for this week is 203,343 gold's worth. That's pretty good. I'm really happy with that for like 7 hours, like an hour a day, which is very handy. The gold value that is on the auction house of looted item value is around about 1,103,775 looted item value. So that's all on the auction house worth of stuff with a somewhat decent sell rate. And the amount of items that we've got is 323. Now that is nowhere near enough for the transmog being sold, let alone having materials on that auction house as well, so we're going to have to build this up a bit more. That being the case, this week I am really happy with the way it's turned out. We've made about 14,000 gold, so well, borderline 15. So for the first week I wasn't expecting much. To be honest, I lowballed it and I said I'd be happy if I just made 5,000 for the first week, but we actually did alright. We like trebled it. So next week I'm hoping to hit around about 50,000 gold just from the clean out after doing all these farms. And I'll see you guys in the next video next Wednesday and or the Monday video as well. So have a lovely rest of the day, guys, and I shall see you then. Bye bye. Yeah.